Hello, welcome to Tech with Briley. Today, we're going to continue working on our open source Wagtail vector blog using the Wagtail vector search plugin. It's essentially a very minimal blog interface, and we can see that here if I reload the page. I've got a few blog articles, and you can browse the blog articles and read their full content. These are, and then return to the blog. These are just kind of generated with the help of Claude or ChatGPT, I can't remember. And on the back end, we have the Wagtail CMS. So all of this is running. You can check the current repository and clone it and use the code. This was just following the Wagtail Getting Started tutorial. And I've omitted several parts of the tutorial just so that we have the blog articles with publication date. We've also added Wagtail vector search. And what this is aimed to do is give us the ability to do semantic searching based on vector embeddings to find similar content, or search and even generate responses based on retrieved content. So retrieve augmented generation using these vector indexes. In order to get our project to run, we've set up a dev container, so you don't have to worry about the dependencies too much. Looks like I do have a little bit of a typo in the dev container, so we'll go and fix this. And then commit that real quick to the main. I don't know how that got in there, but it did. So let's go ahead and get started with development. I've got an issue here. And so essentially what happens with this dev container is as soon as you open VS Code, it'll say, oh, we discovered a dev container, and it knows we're running Python 3 with PostgreSQL, and it happens to be that we're needing the Postgres PG vector extension. So we have a Docker compose file here that sets up a PG vector instance. You don't have to worry about any of that stuff now. It's all done via the Docker compose and a dev container. In addition to that, it sets up some app metadata to tell VS Code where the application code resides, also to install the dependencies automatically, so you don't have to really worry about that, and install some related VS Code extensions that are good for Python development, as well as just general support if you're using Copilot. It's optional, but those will be installed for you automatically in any case. And we enabled the formatting on save using rough. Good stuff. Really easy development environment. I really appreciate dev containers. So let's take a look at our issue. So there's the blog administrative interface in Wagtail. This is just standard Wagtail CMS feature, and this front end is using just HTML template and a bit of Bootstrap to give us mobile responsive design with nice spacing and fonts, as well as the dark mode. So very minimalistic there. We've got the two issues. Here we are under issues. We're going to work on implementing a search page for the blog. Essentially, our first step is to retrieve some relevant results using the vector embedding similarity score. And we have another issue for a recommendation type score using the same similarity metrics. So I'm going to work with Claude here. And we're going to work on this issue. I'm going to see how much I can get Claude to help me write the code. It has in its context the name of the issue. Claude actually generated this GitHub template for me, and I made some minor modifications to it, but nothing significant. Let's double check that this search app doesn't already exist. It could already exist. I haven't, yes it does, in fact. The search view. Okay, all right, so we already have that. And we have a search results template. Okay. That's extending base, Wagtail core, search. So if I go to search, I'm guessing here. Okay, so no results were found. This is good. No results were found, so that's not so good. So what I will do is give this information to Claude. Dang it. This is really something that bothers me about Claude's interface, is this flyout menu on the left. It keeps flying open, and I don't want it to do that most of the time. So I'm just going to go to app over here, search, and I'm going to just drag and drop a couple of files over here. So we have the search views and the search template. That way, you got to give the context to Claude or any LLM if you want it to work with your existing code. So I found that just dragging and dropping it seems to work pretty good. And I gave it just a general idea. I like to A/B test these, the quality of these notes. Currently, with the blog page model, it's not currently working with the blog page model. Blog model. So I'm just giving the context saying it doesn't really work right now. We hadn't actually focused on the search. And in fact, this project was scaffolded by the Wagtail CMS. So this is their default search experience. So we'll see if we can get Claude to help first fix the current search. So we'll get some results back. Because as we saw when we tested it here, we didn't get any results. And we can look closely at the code and see why. If we go to the search view again, it is going to... Now this is strange. It's going to set up a paginator and look for page objects that are live that match the search query. And I'm not sure why. For example, our blog pages aren't coming up in the results. Maybe we'll have to debug that, but let's see what the result of the Claude output is. But yeah, the blog model inherits from the Wagtail page, so it should be, I think, directly discoverable on the search. Maybe I'm misunderstanding how it works. Okay, so we've got a few new artifacts here. If I go to here, we have these GitHub issues and then some new views and search. So let's check out the views.py. And so it's actually giving me the full search view, including the imports, which is actually pretty good because I didn't paste in the Wagtail vector search index documentation. So let's see if it works, if that works correctly. And it's going to be a little bit easier for me to read in our IDE, so I'll just bring that over here. That's imported but not used, so we probably don't even need that. So it gets the query from the query string, which is right here. Oh, you know why I didn't search? Because it's not semantic. And I made a typo. So let's go back here. Let's just redo that and see if it works. If I put in the correct search term, Postgres. Now we still don't get any results back. Okay, so that's weird. We'll just redo the control command B. Oops. All right, but we did get some issues here, so let's find out what that was. When I search now, we're gonna get some yellow debug text attribute error base. Okay, so yeah, it hallucinated this vector search. What we'll need to do is use the docs, and the way we get this is we get the vector index on the blog page, and then we search. Or yeah. This is tricky. So we have a default paginator. So we're having two separate paginators. Interesting. We'll have to check our templates here, but let me just double check if the error is resolved there. So we do get something in our templates, just not rendering the output. So that's good. Resolved that. So we will add this updated search HTML. We'll look closely at it in a moment, but it's just easier over here with the syntax highlighting and everything. And it has this include twice because we are using pagination for both sets of search results. This is kind of interesting. So we'll need that. So pagination.html, and that can be in the search pagination. So we'll just put that right there. Boom. All right, so let's try it again. Now if we search again, we're just trusting the code. So we have side-by-side search. We have some search results for Postgres. What is a vector database? Understanding Django is a web framework. Comparing web frameworks and libraries, Django versus React and Vue. And what is a web framework? So this is kind of interesting. And the way I think it works is the vector similarity search will return all of the results in the database essentially, and I think they're just sorted by similarity score. And some of these, the similarity score is so low, they're not similar, but like Postgres isn't mentioned in that one. So we're gonna have to figure out a way of filtering that, like selecting only the top N results, or which is kind of arbitrary, but or having a threshold of the score, the similarity threshold. And it's not really documented how that comes back. So what we're gonna do is a little bit of debugging. And I got a call coming in. No, I don't have a call coming in. Maybe I'm gonna have a call in just another minute. My dad's calling, he does this. Could have been a pocket dial. Real quick, we'll try to figure out why. So I'll state the problem. I don't really know the solution or the possible cause, but the similarity threshold, so it did zero in on that. And there may be that we can, that there's an argument to this function, this search function. So if we look, for example, in the search, can we grab it? Oh, doesn't really go anywhere. There's too much meta programming going on here. But it does seem to have like a similarity threshold thing. So let's go back here real quick. Oh, and it's because I hadn't, wait, we did define the search fields. Let me just check the updated models. No. Views.py. Second version of that. Similarity threshold. Let's see if that works first, just that small change. 3 were given. Vector next search takes 2 position over. So yeah, self and something else. That won't work. It only returns content matches without a natural language response. But it's returning all of the documents. This is the weird thing. The limit. Is this second argument. This is weird. Let me see what I did here. So it has to be probably named. Which isn't really what we want to do. It's just as arbitrary. I want to set similarity score. Well, let's see if this works with just like, let's say limit 2, just to make sure. Yeah, so that works. And now we got some search results. So cool. Oh, you know what? Could be case sensitive. PostgreSQL. Okay. So that's one of the downfalls of the keyword search. This is if you don't use the exact keyword, you don't get any results back. So that's kind of why we're aiming for the semantic search. I think the hypothesis is we'll get better overall results. So at this point, I think we got a pretty good stopping point. I will cut the video here. I'm gonna give my dad a call, see what he's up to. It's in the morning his time, so maybe he's getting up and having breakfast and stuff. And I'll probably hop back on tonight and continue this exploration. We're gonna see if we can get this similarity score and somehow filter results to not have an arbitrary threshold, but rather a similarity threshold. What do you think? Sounds good? Okay, well, thanks for stopping by. I hope you're doing well. Have a great day, and maybe I'll see you in a little bit.